On today's episode of Locked On Avalanche, the Avs and Jets skate to a pretty exciting game that goes to overtime. That's over like almost as quick as this intro is. Let's talk about it. New episode of Locked On Avalanche coming at you.
You're Locked On Avalanche, your daily podcast on the Colorado Avalanche. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Locked On Avalanche podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Chris Maselli, and with me as always, of course, Mr. Shaggy Von Doom, Kyle Sullivan. Thank you for tuning in and making this your first listen of the day. If you want to get in on the conversation, then join our subtext. Link to that's in the show notes below. And when you do, you chat with Kyle and I one-on-one. We get your opinion, everything Avalanche related, which we share on this very podcast. We'll do that a little bit later. Our subtext crew chimes in on this 3-2 loss for the Avs in overtime. And I feel like, Kyle, this is one that I can't be super upset about. I mean, you're going up against a really good team. And you were right there, and then you get into overtime, and there were good things in this game. There were bad things in this game. Don't get me wrong. And when you a team like the Jets can exploit those bad things that you do. We'll get into a lot of it, but overall, just thoughts on the game. Of course, you want to come out with the 2 points against a division rival in regulation. You get the one, but is it less about the getting the 2 points in regulation and more of like, okay, yeah, we can hang with this team?
Yeah, it's a mixed bag. Like,
yeah,
whatever crowd you're in, everybody wins tonight. Like, if you want to go doom and gloom, sure. You want to go, hey, this team's not bad, sure. If you want to go goalie problems fixed, sure. Casey Middlestat, yes or no. Sam Malinsky, yes or no. Everybody wins. And by the time you say Neil Pionk, game's over. Mm-hmm. And we were literally saying yesterday, we haven't had a game like the old Carolina, like the New Jersey games, the Florida games. Like, it felt like you're after the game, you're like, I want 7 games of this. Congratulations, we got one finally. And this game was fun. It was frustrating. Took out a referee. Like, it had literally everything you wanted. It went wire to wire. Took overtime. I mean, you can't. And honestly, like, yes, I know you want 2 points, but I mean, you're sitting 2 points out of second place in Central. Like,
yeah,
it's not a bad place to be.
No.
So,
no.
I mean, doom and gloom, not that much.
I think that's a really good way to phrase it. Like, the people that just, hate everything that the Avs do, they're not going to look at this and say, like, not good enough. And I'm not built that way. If the Avs do bad things, I have zero problem calling them out and saying that they're doing bad things. And they did some bad things in this game. So individually, yes, like you can say, like, hey, this play was bad. But overall, like, this was going to be a tough game. Like, I don't know what you expect going up against one of the best teams in the league. They don't just roll over for anybody. That's why they have the record that they have. So this was going to be a dogfight. You knew that going in. If you thought this was going to be a 4-1, 5-1 blowout, not really sure why you thought that. But I don't think most people did. I think most people understood that this was going to be, a tough go of it. And, I think maybe the one thing, well, there's many things that I took out of this game, but yeah, like, did you quote unquote solve Connor Hellebuyck? I would say, like, with an asterisk, because the first goal you got on him rang off the crossbar, and Nathan MacKinnon followed up his own shot and got a rebound on it. The second goal you got on him was just a highlight reel goal from Cale Makar, where he just incredibly reaches back from a pass that's behind him. It was a nice drop back pass. It was a difficult pass for Mikko Rantanen, but anybody else doesn't collect that puck and do what he did once he did collect that puck and go to his forehand to backhand and goes over the shoulder of Connor Hellebuyck. So you needed those style of goals to beat Connor Hellebuyck. Yeah. So in that aspect, I'm not, like, thrilled, but you found a way to get 2 by him. And however you got to do it, you got to do it. And I think that's why he's so good, is because you kind of have to get creative to beat him. And the Avs, I thought the Avs game plan was sound. they threw more shots on net. There were moments where I feel like they got away from, like, you could tell it's like, we have to put bodies in front of him. We have to, absolutely, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And with the way that the Jets play defense, sometimes it's tough to kind of get in a flow offensively and get set up offensively to put bodies in front of him, because they'll keep it along the boards and they'll make you fight for those 50-50 pucks that they win a lot of those. They're a tough opponent, people. And for the Avalanche to really battle back, get that goal in the third period, take it to overtime where anything is possible. And then I don't know what Nathan MacKinnon was doing in overtime. Like, where are you going? Like, there's so much I want to say about that. And I'm sure he's beating himself up over it. I don't need to rip him. I'm not going to rip him because he's the almighty Nathan MacKinnon. That was just a bad read on that. And I don't know why he was on that side of the ice. When you see there's only 3 guys out on the ice in the other team, and you see where he's going, and he made a really bad choice.
And Nathan MacKinnon and both Cale Makar, like, you had kind of misses and whiffs. Like, Nathan MacKinnon, he took the puck in the zone probably in that second period 2 or 3 times. And before he even crossed the blue line, it was just taken away. And like, Nathan MacKinnon just kind of stops, drifts, and then reset and have to go get the puck back. But he redeemed himself with that goal. Like, it's like, if he checked out after hitting the bar, throwing his head up, like, frustrated, he would have missed that second opportunity. And Cale Makar had a couple of those too, where just like misplayed things. But that hustle goal there, congratulations, we got our 2024-25 memeable, shareable goal from Cale Makar. Yeah. You're going to be seeing that for a while. And you caught Connor Hellebuyck in like fight or flight. Like, is he coming at me? In that moment of hesitation, you took advantage. So, I mean, you get the good and the bad. And I'm honestly, and you got to see Sam Malinsky. That's great. That's wonderful. He made his way back. And you got to see a little bit more of Ivan. This is like his 3rd game back. But like, you're seeing everybody else. You're seeing, and we'll get to it in the second segment about the power play. There's some things that look like there could be life there, but like, you're overall, like, this is a goalie for Winnipeg that is in the consideration for Hart. He's playing so good this year. Sure. And this is the best team in the Central. And after we just lamented about a 3-1 loss to a injury depleted Minnesota Wild team, this is how you play against the top team in the Central. I'll take this. I'll take this effort. You want to see them build on this effort. It's a good thing they're going on a road trip, and maybe they could carry this momentum with them and have one of those bonding experiences and build off this. But this was a really good performance. You lost the season series to Winnipeg, but hey, I'll take games like this. At least you feel like you put up a fight.
I don't know about you, but I felt like the game plan for the Avs offensively was just clog in front of Hellebuyck as best you can. But outside of that, I felt that they were trying to play a more like heady game, more like a cerebral game, and not just the track meet that the Avalanche love to play. Because I kind of feel like, if you do that against Winnipeg, like, they will make you pay if you make a mistake. So the Avalanche were very just selective on, if we have breakouts, what do we do with them? Not just go full bore, because they're really good at getting sticks in lanes and tipping pucks and going the other way, and then you're dead. So I thought I just kind of felt like the Avalanche were playing just a more sound game, almost a boring game to an extent.
It was more controlled.
Very much so. And in the third, they amped it up a little bit more. I mean, they had to. You were down. I mean, you got the goal back. It was kind of early when they got that goal for the Makar goal. Let me see halfway through. Am I thinking? Am I right on that?
7:05.
Yeah. So approaching, halfway point. So, I thought your third period, you were the better team in the third. I mean, you only outshot them by 1, but just the possession of the puck, it just seemed like you were in control of the third. But for the rest of the game, it was just, you could tell the Avalanche, like, nobody be the guy that makes a stupid mistake. You're gonna have turnovers in offensive zone. You know, it's the game of hockey. It's against a really good team. There's gonna be moments that you'd like to have back. But I thought overall the Avalanche played a very sound game, and they picked their spots when they wanted to attack. And that led to, how many shots on goal did they have in this game? 27 shots on goal. That's okay. You'll take that. Jets are a good defensive team. So, you're upset because you didn't get the extra point. Would have been an exciting moment on home ice. But I feel like you said, like, this is definitely something that you can look at and be like, yeah, it's upsetting that you lost it, but look how we played. Look how we played against a really good team, and we had to fight for those 2 goals. You want to make it a little bit easier for yourself. There's one I'll mention, opportunity that you had coming up, but I'm okay with this game. I really am.
And, you know, I think the reason, and like the more you're talking about it, I think the reason that we're kind of sitting okay with it, this is the first time in a while you knew what the Avalanche game plan was, beginning to end. You knew what the forwards were out there to do, and you knew the defense was trying their best to keep Winnipeg pinned up at that blue line and not catch anything breaking out. You didn't want high danger going at Blackwood. You could tell they were pushing and pressing towards the outside and on that blue line. And you felt like that was the mission all game long. And you didn't have a lot of like floating around, everybody kind of puck watching, puck chasing, kind of aloof. It felt like this team actually had a mission, like we were talking about yesterday. They felt like they were sticking to their game plan all game long. And you could feel that confidence that the Avs are not out of this.
No. Okay, I'm just looking up goalie stats right now. Let's get a break in, and there's more to talk about with this game. We have our subtext people, and of course, our sound check a little bit later. So get us first break in, more to talk about this game between the Avs and the Jets. Let's hear from FanDuel. From the first whistle to the final drive, FanDuel makes the NFL playoffs even more exciting. And right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win on your first bet. That's $300 to keep the action going. And the FanDuel app is easy to navigate, and the variety of bets keeps every game exciting. Plus, when you win, you get paid instantly. No waiting around for your winnings, whether you're betting on your favorite team or just looking to add some excitement to the playoffs, or just betting against Kansas City.
That's fun.
Most people. Is that why you're doing it, Kyle? Yeah. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today and get started with $300 in bonus bets. It's FanDuel.com. Make this playoff season unforgettable with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right, so more on this game with the Avs and the Jets, and I thought, you had a power play for the Avalanche early in the first, and if this is not a microcosm of how things are going for the Avalanche, you had 2 opportunities there. One was Mikko Rantanen. It hits just like the knob of the stick of Connor Hellebuyck. I mean, that thing is going in. Yeah. And a piece that's about like an inch wide is what stops it going in. And then Nathan McKinnon with a really crafty backhand on it that beats him. He got a piece of it, but it beat him. And where does it slide into? The post. And that was on the same power play, the first power play. So you could have had an early lead. And so you're like that is what is going on with the power plays. Look bad, horrendous on a lot of occasions. And sometimes you're getting just the zero puck luck. And then fast forward a little bit later in the game, and the second goal that the Jets get is a shot that's like 4 feet wide of the net and directs right in past Mackenzie Blackwood. That summarizes kind of how some things are going for the Avalanche when it comes to puck luck.
Oh, we're totally like from Pinky and the Brain. Good idea, bad idea. Like that's what you saw on the power play. I saw them utilizing the bumper position.
They did,
and I stood up and I was like, my God, it's evolving, it's alive. And I was like, they're trying, they understand, they know, like they get the message, and I feel like that's honestly the vibe all game long. They get the message and they're actively working on it, and you see it. And we talked leading into this game. This is the number one power play, and guess what you did?
Shut them out.
Perfect penalty kill.
Yep.
So these are pluses. These are good. The face-off numbers that we complain about on the daily, almost 50-50. It's 51 Winnipeg, 49 Colorado.
That's 50-50 in my book.
So, I mean, you're checking the boxes. You're doing the little things, and it's visually evident. Like, I grew up in Alabama. I'm not that intelligent. And you could see, like, watching the game, they are working on things, and this, you could see it in the effort, the vibe, the flow. And when you make those mistakes, it doesn't cost you the game. It just makes it a little bit harder, but you keep doing the little things, and the effort doesn't have to be as laborious as it's been in many games so far this season.
I said it yesterday. Like, I just don't feel like, the hot name now for everybody wants to get rid of is Ray Bennett. You know, he's kind of in charge of the forwards and then special teams and things like that. Guy was able to have his team be a number 5 power play last year, a number 6 power play the year before, and it's been in a 2-month rut, and we're handing him his pink slip. It's not, put some of the onus on the players here. Like, come on. There's power plays are what they are. You can only do so much. And if you watch the StatCast I did the other day, those heat maps, there's nothing there. They're just circles on where players stand. I can guarantee you that's not what he's trying to teach these guys to do. But I just feel like a little bit has to be put on the players for this and not so much on him for it not working. Because that they're working on this. And what is that going to solve? Getting rid of a guy now, bringing a brand new guy, and now there's a whole getting to know you period. And I not there, people. Not there. Like, that's not the answer. The answer is put the stupid puck in the net. And that is the answer.
That's why I don't believe like it's a Ray Bennett thing. Because, I mean, good grief. If you're playing NHL 25 and you had to make a perfect power play, I think it would consist of Cale Makar, Nathan McKinnon, Mikko Rantanen, sure, Taser on there, Lehkonen. That you're like, okay, yeah, that's going to work. And guess what? Mm-hmm. He's putting the pieces out there to work, and it doesn't work when all the pieces. Like, I watched your StatCast when everything is just 5 red dots. Nothing's working. Like, you got to move, and you got to see that with the utilization of the bumper position. Like, they have to understand it. It feels like they checked off everything that they have to do, and they're like, okay, now we can address the power play. Now it's starting to breathe a little life, and that's going to be something I'm looking forward to on this road trip. Is okay. Now I saw a little bit of life. Can you keep it going?
And you're missing Valenzuela too. Yeah,
sure.
Huge piece of that power play. Let's see, Mikko had a chance. Like, I was right on the verge of just like I was writing down like in my notes, like, Mikko just seems off tonight. Yeah. One of those games where he just seems off and just kind of like floating. And literally right after that, he had the drop back pass to Cale for that goal, which was not the best pass, but you're kind of in a phone booth when he did that. So it's it was a difficult pass. He made it. And like I said, Cale Makar, being Cale Makar, was able to collect it and make that incredible play. But there was another play where Mikko got a puck to the left-hand side and wide open. He had tons of time and space, and he tried to get cute. And I think that is, if it was another goalie, I feel like he would have just fired the puck. But I think Connor Hellebuyck is getting into the heads of certain Avalanche players where you have to be like, I have to beat him creatively. Yeah. And I can't just beat him with a sound shot. I can't do it. So he tried to deke and stick handle, and he kind of got in closer, and the puck gets knocked away. Where he should have been John Travolta in Pulp Fiction, get the shot. Come on, man.
Like Royale with cheese, baby.
That's what you need. So I that's what I wonder about when they play the Jets and Connor Hellebuyck is he getting into their head? It's just hockey's reactionary. Like, you get the puck with that much space around it might take you a second to be like, oh my God, I have this much space, but that should be a millisecond, and then fire the puck when you're that close.
That's what
I don't know.
happens when you spend the night before watching Juice versus Georgie. You get you have
Oh man.
and then you have to face Hellebuyck the next day. But no, that's
Why
something
can't it be
that
that easy?
yeah. Like, why can't you let up 4 goals? But no, that's something I'm also keeping an eye on with this Miko thing. I've been watching it all month. Like, whenever these comments come up about effort level, I'm watching till the end of the month. There's something there. And I've seen it a couple times, and I'm still working on something here, but
Okay.
it's like just the Miko thing is a little weird. Like, there are times where he could pull the trigger and it just doesn't. And there are times that he has the opportunity and it just doesn't work. And I
Mhm.
feel like there's some frustration mounting, and especially we keep talking about contract. I feel like that might have a little sprinkle in there. Like,
You never know. You never know. I think all players handle that differently. I can't really say how he's.
well, every move that you make or don't make, you feel like that
Oh,
weight
yeah.
is on you.
Yeah.
So,
And even from the outside looking in, that gets micromanaged too.
yep.
He started the year with a hat trick, and that day we were like, oh, there, that price is going up. And then, he has an off game. Like, oh, price is going down. It's
Yeah,
not how it works. It's
we
not how it
went from pay the man to 14 seems a little rich.
Yeah. So, and then quickly before we get our last break in, on the other side, I thought Mackenzie Blackwood again had a really good game, and he made again timely saves. That one on Scheifele towards the end of the third. Oh man, like he is making some incredible saves, keeping this team in almost every game that he starts. So I liked how the Avalanche played defensively in front of him. They didn't really leave him hanging out to dry and be like, oh no, Ole, this guy got past me. Go save it for me, Mackenzie. No, like I thought they were much better in front of him defensively. They only they only had 2 high danger shots against Blackwood. On the flip side, the Avs had 6 against Connor Hellebuyck. 6 high danger chances, which is a lot. And look, and did he stop them all? Let me see how many they actually got. I mean, I think that high danger. No, yeah, one. Well, the low danger was had to be McKinnon's, because that was kind of off the crossbar, wide open net. And they're saying the medium danger. That was a medium danger from Cale Makar. That was a very difficult shot, but whatever.
And
so he stopped them all. All those 6 high dangers, he stopped them all.
There was an isolated moment towards the end of the first where the puck was cleared down as a dump and chase. Mackenzie Blackwood, Tays coming to trail and pick it up. Mackenzie Blackwood goes to reach for the puck. Tays is calling him off to keep it alive. Mackenzie grabs the puck, freezes it, tells him no. Like, you could see him saying, we're going to reset it. And I see that moment between Mackenzie and Tays, and I'm like, oh, okay, there's a definite power shift here, and I'm like, I can respect this. And when he puts on efforts like he does, where he can command it in the goal, you see that, and it's something that we don't need to take for granted. Just look at the beginning of the season to where we are now. Cherish it.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. You're not kidding. All right, let's get our last break in. As we'll hit the road, we'll just take a look at that quick, get our subtext people their thoughts and our sound check. That's coming up next. All right, game time. You love going to live events, whether it's sports, music, theater, or comedy. And I got to tell you, man, you know what I'm looking up right now? Did you hear who's touring together?
No.
Bush and Filter.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I am checking that out. I am considering it, and they're coming near me. So I was honestly on Game Time the other day looking up tickets for it. And I was actually using the new feature, Game Time Picks. It filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off of your first purchase. Terms apply. So again, create the account and redeem the code LOCKEDONNHL, LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Download Game Time today if you want to see Bush and Filter. Because what time is it, Mr. Sullivan?
It's game time.
All right. Avs now will hit the road for a 3-game road trip very interesting. It's East Coast, obviously. So they have a back-to-back. And the times for the they have a Saturday, Sunday, a weekend road back-to-back. Bruins Saturday, Rangers Sunday. I'll be at that game at MSG. Both those games are 1:00 in the East Coast time. So that's like an afternoon road back-to-back. 11 a.m. for the Mountain Time people. That's a weird one. That is a very weird one. I'm curious to see how that Ranger game goes. You don't see that a lot. And then you have one day off and you're on Long Island for the Islanders. That's a pretty difficult road trip. Just, 3 games in 4 days.
And you saw how the early starts happened last weekend and the effort level that came out, because those games were like 4:00 Eastern last week. And I believe those were back to back as well. So what's going on once again, for your Locked On Avalanche bingo card, NHL schedules. Who makes these things?
I don't know. And I remember last year, those Saturday afternoon games, they were horrible.
Oh,
like, did they win any of them?
Yeah, Saturdays period were horrible for the Avs last year.
So, 3 interesting teams. Bruins have been up and down. They seem to be a little bit better as of late. Same with the Rangers. Rangers have kind of turned the tide, and they're playing better hockey. And then the Islanders, whenever going up against Patrick Waugh, that's always fun. But this time of the year, even though it's only 3 games, and we say this a lot about the Avs, like they seem to take like a road trip around this time of the year and use it for a turning point.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if they do it again. I know, like I said, it's only 3 games, but it's a quick, tough stretch because you're playing a lot of games in a short amount of time.
No, the Avs need it now, because we always talk about magical Januaries for this team. This has been everything but magical, and you hope this is a turning point for a little bit later push than the Avs usually get in the regular season.
Yeah. All right, let's get to our subtext people. They got thoughts on this game. Madam Battleaxe says that one stung a bit. Blackwood played a great game. Right up to the 17 seconds. I mean, that shot was just from Pionk. That's just a laser. It's just a laser. I think he probably thought it was going wide, or maybe just wasn't expecting that to happen. But you saw him getting ready to wind up. McKinnon was closing on him as best he could, but he just rifled that thing past him. That was crazy.
Yeah, not much you could do on that one.
No. She says, I am overtaking the power play. Since we cannot figure this out, this may be the thing that means an extended season and looking at the playoffs from the outside. How is Makar human? He's just unreal. Talking about that play, obviously. Plays for our power play. Her sound check is Linkin Park, Burn It to the Ground.
That's a good Nickelback song, too.
Yeah. Do they have a song called that, too?
Oh, yeah. It used to be Raw's theme song for WWE for a while.
Oh, really? That's pretty funny. Kay says, what an anticlimactic ending. You're like, it was, if you got up to go get a drink or go to the bathroom, like you came back, you missed it. You missed the overtime. Pretty good effort, but this month just isn't going well. All these games feel the same. Hopefully the break will do them some good. There's No Way Out of Here by David Gilmour. Okay. You're becoming a favorite when you do things like that. Yes. Huge Floyd and Gilmour fan. Cody, 1 point is better than no points, but Blackwood is going to want that game back. Overall, thought they played well, and who knows, this might have broke the cycle and will stop trading wins. I mean, we were joking about that, like win-loss thing.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to do that, but I think it's more on the play. And I think right now, like if you watched Cale Makar in the post-game interview, like locker room, he was not happy.
Yeah.
Very just docile, very just like, not that he didn't want to answer questions. It's very difficult to do that for an athlete, but especially after a loss. But you could tell he was a little bit dejected. You could tell they wanted this one. So I think once that wears off, like the stain of like we let this one go in overtime, I think they can, when they break it down, look at film, feel like we do that. If we can play like that against the Jets If we can continue that against any other team, most other teams, we'll be fine.
Yep.
So let's see. Lisa says, well, that was a quick ending. Despite the loss, it was an entertaining game. Definitely a missed opportunity, not scoring on the power play late in the third, on it, which the Avalanche just keep getting third period power plays that are so huge, and they can't.
They don't care.
No.
They don't care.
Honestly, can't wait for the Four Nations to have Hellebuyck on our team. Good point.
Yeah.
You got to root for him a little bit more. So, and then Vargar finally says save percentage for Blackwood over the last 3 games, 880, 885, 857. Small sample size, but I thought he'd start strong and tail off as the season wears on. Dude, this is something where you have to remove that. Like you and I did, I like stats and I like graphics and graphs and all that other stuff. Like I enjoy that stuff. There's times we have to throw that out the window and just go with the eye test. The dude is playing great in goal. He's playing fantastic in goal.
There's not a single goal I could say, oh, that was bad.
Right.
Like
he's playing very good. And he's in the Fire Ray Bennett camp, which I think we've talked about that and made our thoughts known on that right now as well.
You could get the best power play coach in the world to come sit on that bench and say, guys, get out there and do something. It comes down to the guys, and they're just not doing it. And that goes back to the effort level that we've been harping on for the entire month. And they know it. They know it.
Absolutely. So, all right. If you want to get in on that conversation, sign up for the subtext. It's in the show notes. So, last thing to do, that's our sound check where Kyle and I pick a song each that goes on a playlist. These songs summarize the most recent game. You can follow the playlist on Spotify. Just search for LOA sound check. These songs go on volume number 4. So what do you got for this game, sir?
Say hello to my little friend. We're going none other than Paul Ingman's theme from Scarface. Push it to the limit.
Okay, I like it.
This was that game. Like it was punch for punch, push for push. Like statistically, it's basically right down the middle. Like we even talked about the faceoffs. Like this was a heavyweight fight. The Avs were pushed. They fought back, and that Pionk goal at the end, yes, it broke them. But this is what you wanted to see. You didn't see the Avs give up, and you didn't see the Avs have to make a monumental comeback to win this game. This was a best on best. This felt like playoff hockey.
It did. Yeah, it did in some weird way. So I'm with you on that. And I could have focused on like the game itself, but I am still just going to focus on the power play. So that's why I'm going with Incubus, and the song is Oil and Water.
Oh, I love Incubus.
Yeah, they're fantastic. Oh. So I think that pretty much just speaks for itself. That's the Avalanche and the power play goal just are not mixing right now. So
their songs are so hard to play on guitar. Incubus does not get enough credit.
Yeah, he's creative. He took time off to go back to school to learn how to play guitar better.
Yeah, it's
come on now, dude.
Maddening.
He's good. All right, so that is going to wrap it up for today, everyone. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll have our morning leftovers. I'm going to bring up one of your favorites tomorrow, Nazem Kadri.
Oh, be still my beating heart. So close to Valentine's Day.
Get ready. So tune in tomorrow for that and anything else that's going on in Avalanche Nation. We will talk about it. He is Mr. Shaggy Von Doom, Kyle Sullivan. I am Chris Maselli. This is the Locked On Avalanche podcast. We'll see you guys tomorrow, where you're one day closer of Sidney Crosby being in Colorado Avalanche colors.
No.
He could be Hellebuyck.